Hello, welcome back to Amateur Podcast. I'm your host Attia, and with me here is
Nico. I'm Nico.
Today something has been on my mind. I've been on, Instagram and TikTok, and have you seen all these new face filters? The one, especially on TikTok, they're so good at morphing your face that it doesn't look like a filter. It just looks like you're glammed up.
Yeah, remember you were over not too long ago and I wouldn't give you your phone back because I was obsessed with how I looked with the filter
Oh
on.
yeah, didn't you say like you want to show it to your doctor for a mommy makeover?
No, but it was actually wild because I remember looking
and when you touch it, like it doesn't waver, right?
Yeah.
It stays intact and it looks like your face. So if you download it, it doesn't say that's a face filter. So it could look like people could genuinely think that's you. That's how you look like if they don't know you.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember when I was playing with it, like I had it on your phone, and just for comparison, I pulled up like my iPhone camera and did the selfie. And oh my god, real life is so disappointing. Is it not?
How did that feel?
Not great. I was like, I could be beautiful, and I'm not.
I think you're beautiful regardless.
Thank you. I appreciate
you don't
it.
really need those filters. I think those filters are creepy, honestly. It makes you poreless, and when I put it on myself, people were like, "Oh my god, you look so good." To me, I just looked so old because there's so much makeup, and then B, it was just like porcelain. It just removes your smudges and your pores. And there's this new filter that I saw recently, and it removes any smudge on your face. So it's even more accurate than the Bold Glamour, the one that I showed you. There's no makeup, but it just makes your skin even, and it even removed my moles.
Oh my god.
And it removes like acne and everything. So if you have that one on, it's your face, but it's like smooth and
like a
concise.
baby's bottom.
Yes. So you wouldn't even know somebody's wearing that.
What was crazy about the Bold Glam one was comparing that image to the one on my phone. Like, it made my eyes bigger, it made my nose smaller, it changed the structure of my face, and I thought that was crazy. My lips were bigger.
It made you into a Kardashian.
I mean, yeah, essentially. Yeah.
It was Nico Kardashian.
Oh my god.
I'm just like, I wonder, I mean, it doesn't really bother me because I'm older now, but I wonder if that kind of filter existed when I was 13 or 14. What that would have done to my self-esteem, and I think I see that a lot on social media where younger kids are really, they think that, oh my god, I wish I looked like this. Oh my god. I'm like, to me, that looks so fake. But to them, because they're so young, it has a lot of impression on them.
I remember being a teenager and like also just like in middle school and even like parts of childhood, thinking that, and that was just from magazine covers and like movie stars. And
that's not even your face being amplified into this perfect version of you.
Yeah.
So.
And then I still had those insecurities.
Yeah.
And then I remember there was this video, it's really old, but it was probably one of the first YouTube videos that went viral, but it was a Dove campaign where they take a picture of a woman, just, like plain looking. She had no makeup on, right? And this video has been spoofed so many times, but basically like she like nods to the camera, they turn on the lights, take her pictures, and then you see the Photoshop process. And then at the end, that image is superimposed onto a billboard. And so it was about, and I remember feeling floored that like, I was like, what? The images on the magazines are fake? They've been photoshopped? And it's like, of course they have, but you just didn't know. But I feel bad for kids today.
But it's not even models anymore. It's just regular people
exactly.
on the internet that you believe, that you relate to. Because honestly, they are regular people, but you just don't know they have face filter on. And you're like, oh, they have similar life like me. And they have a similar education, maybe even a similar job and age. And they look so much better than I do. And they look so beautiful. But you don't even know it's a face filter.
And I will say, when you're a kid, especially teenagers, this is like more of like a clinical thing, but kids have a hard time between distinguishing fantasy and reality. And I can't imagine having this physical reminder all the time on your phone about what you could look like, but you don't look like. And then I feel really bad for
when I was younger,
teens.
I was because I was like bullied for my nose, which is so funny to me.
You were
Because
bullied for
I
your
know
nose?
it's my.
I was too.
My nose is so normal looking.
What did they call you?
They just told me my nose was fat. Like,
Oh, that's it?
yes. Why? What was yours?
I got called toucan
What's that
and
mean?
ostrich. Do you know what a toucan
No,
is?
I do not.
It's this,
the beak thing.
the rainbow, beautiful rainbow beak of this tropical bird in South America. No, I don't think it's South America. I don't know where toucans are from, but that's what I was called.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
By my own friends behind my back. Yeah.
Oh, behind your back?
Middle school was brutal.
Whoa, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This episode, I'm gonna give a little bit of a trigger warning. We're gonna talk about body images, plastic surgeries, and
Our favorite family.
the Kardashians. We need a trigger warning for the Kardashians.
Well, I'm glad you did it before the episode, unlike me.
But yeah, this one time I edited this out, but Nico started talking about something really dark, and she gave a trigger warning after she was done talking about it, which made no sense. She's like, "Oh, by the way, guys, trigger warning. It doesn't work that way."
Sorry. It's more comfortable talking about dark things.
What has been on the headlines lately is that the Kardashian effect is declining and the Kardashians are becoming irrelevant. And I have several theories, and it's not confirmed, obviously. It's just a lot of people talking about it. And then there's rumors that they're not invited to the Met Gala because Anna Wintour decided to make the Met Gala even more exclusive, and they didn't get an invite, which makes no sense to me because honestly, say what you want, but the most iconic looks usually comes from Kim Kardashian at the Met Gala.
I think they're invited only because Kendall was recently included in the Vogue cover where they were honoring Karl Lagerfeld, and that is who the Met Gala is honoring this year. And so I'm sure she's getting invited.
What I've heard is Kendall is invited because she's a model, and the others are not. But to me, personally, one of the best looks of the Met Gala have been given by Kim Kardashian. Yeah. And even the one time when Kim and Kanye wore the whole Balenciaga thing. Yeah. That was pretty cool when she was she was morphed into like a wet figurine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then obviously the controversial Marilyn Monroe. So it's interesting to think that people think that they're not invited. I wonder how that plays out. But the other thing that you were talking about was the lack of interest in the new TV show, The Kardashians.
Mm-hmm. So I've been thinking, let me start off. You're going to hate me for this, but I'm a Kravis fan.
First, explain what Kravis is.
I am about to.
When you first said Kravis to me, I was like, who's that?
Oh my God. I have been a massive Blink-182 fan.
Which is fair, yeah.
Since since they came out, right? Mm-hmm. Since like the late 90s. So I love Blink-182. I love Travis Barker. I want nothing but the best for him. And I think
he's a pretty cool dude. I like him.
He's really nice. He's been through so much. I'm going to sound like such a crazy fan person, but like he's honestly been through a lot. Yeah. And he's one of the best drummers ever. So I actually really like him and Kourtney, and that's who Kravis is, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker. So they released kind of like a wedding special, but it's like not like official footage. I read reviews and it's like really behind the scenes, like iPhone footage. It's not polished. It's not glossy, right? Mm-hmm. And it's called Till Death Do Us Part. And I wanted to watch it, but I was trying to get numbers to see like figures, like how many people streamed this, how many people watched this, and I couldn't find it. And I don't know if this is Kris Jenner working really, really, really hard to hide if like anyone had any interest in it, you know?
Yeah.
But I know when their season 3 trailer dropped, people were like not excited about it
because there was nothing in it. I think honestly, here's the thing. There's my theory. The reason the favoritism of Kardashians have fallen, they've always had these problems. People are saying, oh, it's because they promote body dysmorphia and bad body images, and you know, like their beauty standards are impossible to reach. This has always been the Kardashians. The Kardashians have always been this, and they've always been like, you know, in relevant pop culture. I think what happened is Keeping Up with the Kardashian, the show, not the Hulu one,
On E.
on
Yeah.
E, that one actually humanized them. And that one actually was like, they showed them just fighting with each other or having really dumb arguments like siblings do. And,
Yeah.
you know, then even the Courtney and Scott thing, that was, I feel terrible for her, but, you know, it was a classic story of, you know, a woman and somebody who she loved that was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. Or I think there was just more substance to it. With this one, they have decided, the Kardashians, that they're not going to do anything that is controversial or can be labeled as drama. So it's basically almost like an ad for their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's very boring, shallow, and
It pushes their narrative.
yeah, it pushes their narrative. It doesn't really humanize it. It makes them look like snobs and rich and boring, which people don't care about. Especially, I think also the pandemic has to do with it a little bit.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
So let me launch into my
Okay.
theory, because I alluded to it earlier when we were talking outside of this. But my theory is that actually the pandemic really, one, turned the public off to like influencers, and the Kardashians
Yeah.
are the original Instagram influencers. I think they were one of the first people to really grow a following on social media. Every other celebrity is just repeating the formula that the Kardashians have perfected, right? So what happened was, in the pandemic, especially early, I don't know if you felt this way, but I felt this big like camaraderie with the world. Like we were all kind of united. We're all laughing at the same memes. It all sucks, you know. We're all suffering. We're all having a really hard time. Some of us had it better than others. You know, for me, I was fully employed throughout the pandemic. I was able to work from home, right? And all of that. And then I think celebrities wanted to get in on this camaraderie.
And then Gal Gadot decided to make
that
that little video.
The Imagine video, I think, is the butterfly effect that is triggering.
God, that made me so angry.
Yes.
And I think it's so crazy because usually pop culture things don't make me angry because I don't care enough. But I think it's because, again, at that point I was in college and I had to I dropped out of school for a little bit because of the pandemic. And if anyone who's listening didn't know this, but I was just so annoyed and angry that I have to move back home and be miserable, and these people are like singing to me, and I'm like, you're not in the same boat as me.
From their mansions.
From their mansions.
And so, like, for example, the other thing too is, you know, she was inspired because she saw this video of, you know, someone in Italy going out to their balcony and playing a musical instrument, and then everyone in the neighborhood is out on their balcony opening their windows and they're all singing along, and it was a really powerful moment. And she thought, oh, we can recreate. Yeah, we can recreate
because we're the most relevant people on this earth. Everybody looks up to us. We're role models.
I hate to say this, but this was Pedro Pascal's one mistake. He was in that video.
Hey, we all have a miss.
I know. I'm convinced that she like bullied him into it because they were co-stars.
So, but okay, whatever makes you feel better.
That's what I'm telling myself.
He probably was like, that is a beautiful idea.
Shut up. Anyways, so I think one, people were furious, right? And then, you know, we're all isolating at home. Some of us are in, you know, some people are in like really dangerous situations because of the pandemic, right? Other people are like having to be at home. I mean, you were still miserable.
You were still, the world was not the same. There was, at the very least, there is an inconvenience in life, a looming inconvenience for everybody except the people that were celebrities that get things handed to them.
Yeah,
so
the ultra wealthy.
Yeah.
And, you know, people were trying, and I'm not saying they didn't have any right to feel despair. I'm sure that they did. But, like, come on, Sam Smith posting photos of himself sobbing.
Yeah.
In front of his, like...
Was that Sam Smith?
That was Sam Smith.
Okay. I saw multiple celebrities sobbing on the internet. And
ridiculous. And I think collectively as a public, we were like, just shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Like, shut the hell up. You cannot relate to us. You will never relate to us. And I think that soured, you know, celebrity influence and culture for a lot of people, especially when you have people like Kim Kardashian, who is like, oh, I wanted to spend like my birthday, and we did it safely on a private island. Like no one was wearing masks, like celebrities were still partying, you know, and people were just furious at the disparity, essentially, right? And then you had, I think that was the start. And then one last theory I'll tack on to this one is we saw that Ozempic, you know, that injection.
Oh my, yes, the Mindy Kaling.
Yeah, so
thing.
my mom.
Okay, for those people that don't know, so Ozempic is a diabetes medication that celebrities, influencers, and other celebrities have been allegedly taking, but most likely taking for weight loss, in especially
Rapid weight loss.
Yeah, in Hollywood, California. There's talks about people having Ozempic parties where they're shooting Ozempic for weight loss, and some celebrities have lost a lot of weight, and now there's a shortage of this medicine
Yes.
for people that have diabetes.
Yes, and so that's another thing. So you have like, again, this disparity of like there's a shortage of medication that people with diabetes,
It's like the Hunger Games.
yeah, really need, and then celebrities have it, are somehow getting it. The shortage doesn't affect them, and you know, not saying I don't know their health stuff, right? But I'm willing to bet my paycheck that most of them probably don't have diabetes and don't need to take those injections. So I think, again, it's just like the pandemic was like this domino effect, and then everything else just like all came out, and people, I think, just got sick of influencer culture. Like they had enough. So that's what I think really contributed to the Kardashian downfall, because they haven't really changed anything. I think the world changed, the public changed, our values shifted, and they're like, this is fake. You guys are fake. And we are actually disgusted by your antics.
Yeah, I also think, especially with Kim Kardashian, I think for a while, and I still feel that about her, that she has been able to maneuver from that hate in a lot of senses, because she has been one of the sisters that has always been like, yeah, I'm materialistic and I love being famous and I love the attention. So she's kind of honest about it, compared to people like Kendall Jenner or Kourtney Kardashian, I'm sorry to tell you, that are hypocritical in a sense that they're like, we don't want to be famous. We want to do things for the betterment of society, but their actions and what they sell is in opposition to that, right?
Basically, Kim is like Gwyneth, who's like, I can't pretend to be someone who makes $25K a year. Kim's like,
basically,
me neither.
Kim Kardashian has been very bold about it, that she likes her fame and she likes her money. And I think a lot of the time, even when people are like, okay, we don't like what you're selling or whatever, there's still an appreciation of the candor of that person. I appreciate that about her, that she's like, okay, yeah, I'm famous and I love it, instead of being, I hate, it's so hard to be rich and famous and I can't, like Kylie, she's like, oh my god, if I just don't think I'm made for fame and I don't want to be famous and I just want to be the girl next door, and then she sells everybody lip kits. Like, girl, no, you want to be famous, please stop.
I do think for Kendall and Kylie, it's a little bit different, because they've been famous since they were children. Yeah. Like, I mean, I remember when she first got lip fillers and people were doing something called the Kylie Jenner challenge, where they were like,
I remember that. That was
She said she was, how old was she? Like 16 years old?
Yeah,
and
15,
she had
16.
Panic attacks over it. So I actually feel a little bit more sorry for the younger ones, because in a weird way, like, they couldn't experience like normal teenage insecurities and like, well, normal ways of fixing it. I'm using air quotes because when I was self-conscious about my face,
I just had to figure it out.
I just
I just suck it up. Suck it up. You can't be like, Mommy, can I get facelift and lip fillers because my friends are bullying me?
Just have to deal with being the freaking toucan and ostrich.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things. You can get those, especially if you're an adult. That's fine for your own enhancement, or if you enjoy them. It's just the fact, what upsets me, that now people feel pressured because to meet the beauty standards today, you need to have some sort of beauty enhancement. If it's not surgery, some sort of fillers or even teeth whitening, anything, right? And I personally, I feel pressure to do that, or Botox, or...
Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna get Botox at some point.
I'm probably gonna do it too. I'm not saying I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I have friends who've done it already.
I'm probably gonna do it too. I'm just saying it makes me upset that I feel the need or feel the pressure that I have to keep up with this. Literally keeping up with the Kardashians.
I think that pressure always existed, but like I said, I think it's just more present because
But now it's from everybody.
it's everybody. Yes.
It's almost as if you don't do it, then you look like the odd one out, honestly.
Yeah.
Not to harp on the Kardashians, honestly, because a lot of my body image issues or whatever does not just... I mean, I don't think that Kardashians personally ever affected me. It was more models than Kardashians. People that look like Kendall. So maybe that's why I'm a little hard on her.
You sound like you're being, I hate to use this word, but triggered.
Yes. Are you using your therapy tactics with me?
This is not my therapy voice. I'm very blunt as a therapist.
I mean, I grew up watching America's Next Top Model religiously.
Yeah, same.
And just what went, if you watch the show, you know what went on there. It was very blunt. That, like if you gain any weight or if you look a certain way, you have to change yourself or whatever. It's very toxic. And a lot of people still believe that. And they believe that, if you're a grown woman, you should be, you should look like a little child. And that's just stupid. And what makes me upset is the Kardashians, now that they've taken out their BBLs, are feeding into the narrative with Kim Kardashian, Khloe, and what's the other one's name? Kourtney, sorry. They've all taken out their, fillers and BBLs or whatever, and they're going more towards back to the Y2K heroin chic look. And it's just really upsetting me personally. And I'm really angry about it because that to me is just like, why are we bringing this back?
So I'm going to step in and defend one of the Kardashians.
Oh my God.
Kourtney.
Okay, sure.
Okay. I'm just going to say it. Okay. Yes. Definitely earlier seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
All of the seasons.
All of the seasons, right? She was very thin. She, And
there's nothing wrong with being thin. That's not what I'm saying.
No, but she, bullied, the whole family bullied poor Khloe, right?
Because she was, air quote, the fat sister, but she wasn't. She was a size 8 at her most.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to just let that go right now, right? So that was then, okay? Yeah. And when I binged watch, I think season 1 and season 2 of the Hulu one, the Kardashians. This was a while ago, like last year. And there was this episode where Kourtney talks about going under IVF and how it's changed her body and how she was really stressed about it at first. But then Travis, again, this is why I love Travis Barker, kept telling her that she was beautiful, that she's perfect, that she looks great. And then she really was able to embrace the changes in her body. And so she, in her Instagram photos and in interviews and in comments that she's given on Instagram, when people are like, are you pregnant? You've gained weight. She's like, yeah, this is what a real woman's body looks like, right? With curves and with a little bit of weight and all this other stuff. And so I really appreciate that. And I think she is shifting away from the typical Kardashian narrative. And that was in such a stark juxtaposition to the other sisters, where you have Kim doing, quite frankly, really dangerous things to lose weight to fit into Marilyn Monroe's dress. And then you have Khloe, who honestly looks really thin and likes it when people even sound concerned about her thinness. And so I think
that's a part of when you have body dysmorphia,
exactly.
Or when you've been fat shamed for so long that even being shamed for being skinny is a compliment, because you were, as a society, shamed for looking like a normal person, basically, because your sisters looked like celebrities. So
and Kourtney even said, at my thinnest, I was so unhappy. And she's and right now I feel very, very happy. So for me, she's endeared herself to me more just because of that. And I think Travis' influence has helped a lot because, he's punk. We punk people, we don't care about these things, right?
I mean, I'm happy for her that she feels that way, but for me, it doesn't take away for the years of damage that she had a part in. And to me, this is also a little bit self-serving, because now it affects her now, because she's doing IVF and she is not able to maintain the way that she had. beforehand, and now suddenly she's, oh, I'm body positive, whatever. But whenever she had all those resources and she could promote whatever laxative teas or the pseudoscience diets or the, you know, her push stuff or her lifestyle stuff, she pushed it on people. And she still, you know, she's, I think, overtly pushes like clean food narratives that are not even true. Like if you, I think she's, to me, one of the most obnoxious ones about food in general. And to the fact where she's like bragging about how her one of her kids saw another kid at school eat a Cheeto, and he was like, that's disgusting. And she was like, I was so proud of him because we don't eat that junk and blah blah blah. To me, she's still toxic, and she's only saying that whole, to me personally, I'm not saying that's her narrative, I'm saying what it comes off to me is that she, now this new narrative I accept myself is self-serving because it affects her. Before, when it didn't affect her, she didn't care.
And I do wonder too if this is like, so recently she turned 44, and I saw on her Instagram there was this mariachi band that like surprised her at her home, or it was at Kravis, so I don't know whose home it was a home. And she walked out. She had no makeup on, no filter. You could see her eye wrinkle. Right? You could see her natural face. If she had makeup, it was very, very, very minimal.
Which is interesting because just almost when she got engaged a year ago, she made everybody take down those photos of her engagement that her stepchildren posted because it showed like a little bit of her real figure. So, I mean, I guess that's progress for her. Happy for her. But to me, that doesn't take away the things she has done.
For sure. But people perceive it as refreshing. And I think maybe she's...
Because she's a Kardashian.
And I think, I hope it's genuine. If it is, good for her. I'm happy that she's embracing, what I call like a more nuanced kind of approach to living and aging and whatever. But I wonder if she's just gotten smarter and is like, the Kardashian formula is not it right now. We need to pivot.
I think she's, maybe. I think she's also not really in the Kardashian scene, per se, because she has distanced herself from all of her sisters and their brand in a sense. Even if you watch the Kardashians, which I don't watch the Kardashians. I used to watch the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but I'm not the Kardashians, the Hulu show fan. So I don't really watch it, so I can't really say. From what I've seen a little bit, she's not ever interacting with the sisters if she doesn't absolutely have to. And she's not really, I think her and Kim definitely had a huge falling out, and it's almost like being on the show is more of a business deal than anything warm or like sisterly about it.
When I watched it, I mean, basically it was mostly about her and Travis. That was it. And you know what was ridiculous? Sorry, this is like a tangent because I'm just like, oh, I'm so annoyed by it. But at her engagement party, her sisters even brought up, what about Scott? What about Scott? I'm so sorry. That man... You mean Lord Disick? Look, he had great moments, and he was definitely
the funniest.
Like one of the funniest. But I'll never forget
he was also a dick.
How he made her cry.
He was awful to her. He cheated on her multiple times, and I'm not taking away from all the things he's done. He's terrible.
That's not even what I'm alluding to. It's the fact that he was pressuring her to lose weight 3 months postpartum.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Horrible, right? And her, what about Scott? I'm sorry. What about Scott? Okay? Like, he's not here. Why would he be here at her engagement to this awesome,
we're not even get into
drummer.
That whole thing.
Anyways,
think Kris Jenner in general is like a sympathizer of people who cheat on people because she said the same thing about like Tristan, like Khloe telling Khloe to like, why is she so hard on Tristan? And then she also defended Kanye when Kanye was being ballistic on Kim, basically stalking her. And then she's like to Kim, like, maybe he just needs a little bit of love. Or I'm like, dude, Kris Jenner, I love Kris Jenner. Here's my list of the Kardashians. So, okay, top of the list is Kris Jenner. Second is Kim Kardashian. Third is Khloe. Fourth, Kylie. Fifth and sixth, it swaps between Kendall and Kourtney. So right now, I think because of the Bad Bunny stuff, Kendall is at the bottom. And Kourtney is a little bit above her. But depending on what they're doing there. So I love Kris Jenner, but also she is such a sympathizer for people like that have treated her daughters badly. And I don't appreciate that about her.
I don't get that. But
I don't get that.
Anywho. The point is,
she also cheated on their dad, so maybe that has to do with guilt or whatever.
Freudian projection, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think also, speaking of irrelevancy, I think Kylie was the one Kardashian Jenner that was supposedly the self-made billionaire. She was in tune with her audience, and she was the one that people thought that was the most relatable, and they were buying her product and everything. And my theory, the reason people think she's irrelevant is because I think what happened is Kylie is basically the cusp of millennial and Gen Z. And what she did, because she was so young when she started her business, she catered more towards millennial. And like her style is more millennial, her makeup is more millennial. And now slowly the market for things that she sells is more Gen Z.
How
And
so?
because I think
I don't follow.
millennials are more likely to buy things that are at the moment that are more luxurious, like Estee Lauder or something like that, right? Because they're making more money. And Gen Z is buying stuff that she would sell, but her stuff doesn't really appeal to Gen Z, I think. Like I mean, I'm not even Gen Z. I think I'm also in the cusp, but I would still not buy Kylie lip kit.
I'm a millennial and I never bought a Kylie lip kit. Never even thought about
But
it.
I think it was, like you said, the the whole Kylie lip challenge, that was so many years ago. And she was very young. And I think that was when everybody wanted to try her stuff and everybody wanted to try her products. And I think she's just not relatable anymore. And there was this era of, like, they used to call her King Kylie or whatever, where she was just, cool and hip. And now, again, people think she's unrelatable. And she's too rich, and she is like, I think Kendall as well, that they're out of touch.
As you get wealthier, it is a natural process that you become more out of touch. Taylor Swift at the Grammys, like when Trevor Noah made a joke about the price of eggs, she was confused because she doesn't know
The price of eggs. Have you seen that, dude? Have you seen that? You know how Ellen used to do how much does this cost, right? And she did one with Bill Gates, and they were like, how much do you think bread costs? And he was like, I don't know. And he said something outlandish, and you could see Ellen's face because Ellen didn't know how much bread cost. Do you think?
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, things like that.
So I think, of course, as you become more financially secure, there are things that you don't have to worry about. And I've noticed that within myself. Like, recently I pre-ordered, I'm such a nerd, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
Such a nerd.
I'm a nerd. I love playing my video games. So I pre-ordered that, right? For some people, it's like, wow, $70. That's like really steep. I'm gonna have to save or like cut. I was like, what's $70? Bloop, and like bought it, right?
Yeah, because you're older.
I'm older, and I have double income, me and my husband, no kids, right? So I'm like, well, it's $70, right? So certain things, it's like, yeah, whatever. You don't stress about it as much anymore. You don't pay attention. I'm not like comparing like bread and like buying the cheaper one. And I think that's a natural thing. I think what happened was, one, like I said, like the Kardashians try to like make it seem like they're in touch, that they care about social justice issues, that they understand their fans, and they've proven time and again that they don't. So like Kim's comments, was it to Variety? She's like, get your ass up and work. No one wants to work these days. What a slap to the face to everyone who watched that.
That was like during the pandemic too, right? That was toward the end air quote of the pandemic, but still.
And she doubled down on it. She wasn't like, hey, that was an out of touch comment. Like, she doubled down on it.
Yeah.
Completely. We remember the infamous Pepsi ad.
The tequila ad. Kendall Jenner has had many ads.
I watched the tequila one, and it was,
oh my god, it was obnoxious.
It was bad. My jaw dropped.
Oh my god.
I'm not one who is like easily like offended or like gets upset, and my jaw dropped. But anywho, so I do think that's another thing that like we can kind of the public can see through it, and they're like, you don't relate to us, you don't understand us, and this is fake, you're pretending.
I think with Instagram, people were still had a little bit distance from their favorite influencer, that they could still curate themselves into what they want it to be. But with TikTok, everyone is making a TikTok, and everyone can go viral. Anyone can, and anyone can come up with the topic that is relevant, and people will click on it and watch it. So I think people are having more access to regular people or regular influencers or whatever, and more people are promoting just like their natural faces, or and then the more that happens, the more these kind of influencers that are on the top or whatever, they look more distant and more irrelevant and more unrelatable.
You mentioned it that you feel more comfortable making TikToks because like you can just show like, you know, your bare face and it makes the TikTok like better or funnier, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and other people do it too.
Yeah, I don't really wear, a lot of the time I don't wear makeup on my TikToks, but I feel really pressured when I make an Instagram post that
Exactly.
I need to, like, I've told you about this, like whenever I'm posting on Instagram, I'm thinking about it, I'm curating it, I'm like you said, I'm like, you know, you're calculated about it, right?
I noticed people who like I know in real life and like was friends with in real life started talking. It felt like suddenly I was like, my friends or people that I know in real life are talking to me like I'm a fan or a follower.
What?
You know what I mean? Like they would get on Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They would get on their stories. Hey guys, like blah blah blah. I'm like, what? Like, I know
guys.
you. I know you, right? You know what I mean? And I found myself doing that too.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? Like, this isn't how I talk.
Yeah.
I have like 200 followers. And, you know, like, and these are people that I know. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, hey guys, I just wanted to tell you about this thing. Like, what the hell? Like, so people talk to their own friends, like
Yeah.
in a very, on Instagram, in a very curated way. And I notice, I don't know if I should go on this tangent. You can edit this out. I don't care. But basically, like, for example, like being a therapist and now seeing people who are not therapists use therapy speak and
Oh
like
my
therapy
God.
talk
Yes.
as if they know. And I'm like, what the flying what?
Oh my God, we're not even going to talk about how many times people just use the words gaslighting, narcissist, and abusive, like they're just
Oh my God, my favorite.
handing out cards to people.
My favorite
at a
new
fair.
phrase. My favorite new phrase is, we just all need to hold space. Like, shut up. No one talks like that. I don't even talk like that to my clients. Shut up. Anyways, so the point is Instagram feels very performative. I think that's the thing. And TikTok is like, blah, like I just woke up and this happened. Like, you know, it's totally different. So I do think the rise of TikTok, yeah, you're right, has an effect.
Do you generally believe that people are gaining awareness about body positivity or negative body image perceptions through the Kardashians, and they're like, hey, we don't want this perception anymore and we want to move towards a more inclusive and accepting everybody? Or is it just because they're just annoying? I don't know.
Okay, so do you want a peppy answer or doom and gloom cynical Nico answer?
I want whatever you feel like, but I also don't want you to rail us off into something completely.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't rail us off completely. I don't think we are moving towards body positivity. Let me just start off with that, because one, issues have come up with at least on. Let me rephrase this. Internet body positivity. Okay, when Adele lost all that weight, people had a meltdown. So I don't think we're moving towards that.
But that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm talking about now.
I'm like I said, this is doom and gloom cynical Nico, who has seen multiple cycles of pop culture and internet culture. I don't think we're moving more towards that. I think people crave authenticity. People are craving, like, you know, realness and authenticity. The pendulum has gone from projecting and performing to I want realness right now.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that the Kardashians either need to pivot and start becoming relatable again, or like the jig is up and we are all annoyed by them because it's very obvious how much they are performing.
It's really interesting that you say that, because even with regular influencers that are not a stature of Kardashian, just beauty influencer, makeup influencers, I don't know if you know this, but there's this really popular, famous makeup influencer on TikTok that recently got a lot of fire because she was reviewing this mascara, and she was like, oh my God, guys, this mascara has changed my life. Her name was Michaela, for those who don't know. And she puts it on and there's a jump cut, and then she has like 8 more lashes. So she obviously put like fake lashes on her lashes, and people were pointing out, hey, dude, we're not stupid. You obviously put on fake lashes, and it's not like a small creator. She has millions of followers.
Yeah.
And the internet blew up, and it was kind of like people all attacking influencers for being fake, and especially her for promoting something that is obviously not real just for money. And I think we are, if anything, we are really shifting towards, like you said, wanting honesty and realness from people.
The only makeup influencer I know is Bretman Rock, and
I love Bretman.
they're amazing. He's amazing. And he's moved away. He said he doesn't want to do beauty influencing stuff anymore.
Yeah, because he was like, well, they ruined beauty. They ruined makeup. It used to be fun, and now it's not. He's hilarious.
And he's
love
authentic.
It.
He is authentic.
Have you seen?
He's been the same. If you watch a video of him at like 12, 13 years old, and you watch a video of him now, he's acting the same. Nothing's changed.
Have you seen? I don't know what award he won, but he was at this award show, and he was like, he got up there, and he's like, I would get up here and say, like, it's such an honor to win this award because growing up I never saw people like me. People always say this. People say people never saw people that look like them on TV, and that was really hard. And I'm like, bitch, just change the channel. I just watch all those Filipino soap operas all my life, so I always saw people that look like me. So for those people that are saying that, why are you watching that? Just change the channel.
Oh my god,
I thought that was so funny.
He's great. I follow him, and I think he's hilarious. He is so funny.
Oh my god.
Anyways, but yeah, I do think people are craving authenticity, and I don't think the Kardashians like know how to be really authentic anymore. And also, if they were to be authentic, I think they worry that they would alienate a lot of people, but I don't think that's true.
I also think the Kardashians individually, all of them had some sort of scandal that made them off-putting to people. Like, obviously, with Kendall, the Bad Bunny thing, and her being, just ignorant for the past years, and then
It's massive
crying,
cultural appropriator.
and then obviously bullying Selena Gomez. And isn't that funny? I think all of our episodes tie together because Hollywood is a small village at this point. And then Kylie had that whole Astroworld conflict.
Yeah.
Kim and Kanye has been on topic for a long time, and people have tore her down or built her up or whatever. People have opinions about that whole situation. Then also the Marilyn Monroe dress and Khloe. I feel bad for Khloe because poor Khloe with the whole Tristan thing. I think people have turned their backs on her because she keeps going back to the same person. And I personally don't hate her for that. I don't understand why she's the one to always be blamed for it when Tristan is the one doing what he's doing, and then he doesn't get as much as heat as she does. But at the end of the day, people I think really
I have another theory about that. But
what is it?
No, you finish. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was gonna say I think people don't want to see on TV, especially people who give in. They want to see heroes, They want to see a woman that stands up for themselves, and they don't really want to see somebody who takes somebody that have wronged them.
Do you know who Carl Jung is?
Yes.
Jung.
Why are we talking about Carl Jung?
Because I have a theory.
Okay.
He has this thing called the concept of a shadow.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when, have you ever like immediately disliked someone that you just met and you couldn't put your finger on why, and you just really, really, really dislike them?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, probably.
Well, it still happens to me now at 32, so okay, good for you. Yeah. But anyways, when that happens, it's because the person that we intensely dislike, who hasn't done us any wrong, is very forthcoming or openly shows these characteristics that we have but we hate about ourselves. That's why he calls it concept of a shadow. I think Khloe is that for a lot of people because, no one wants, like you said, to see someone who gives in. But the truth is, I know a lot of people in real life who stick with really crappy partners.
Yeah.
And Khloe is not that different from them. Going back to the same crappy partner. Yeah. Over and over again. And I think that pisses people off because it's a quality they have that they don't want to see in themselves.
I guess we're kind of agreeing because what I just said is like people want to see heroes, right? People want to see someone do something brave that they wouldn't do themselves.
Yeah, but I added psychology to it.
Oh, thank you so much for backing up research. I think you really have a master, so you should know what you're talking about compared to me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think the point is, to me,
They're all flopping.
I wasn't gonna put it that way, but yeah.
They're all flopping.
Kris Jenner, you need to work harder. I know you've been working hard your whole life and you would love to retire, but girl,
your kids are not doing it for you. It's the time to turn your attention to your grandkids.
Oh my God. I'm just saying, like, for once, I'm just like, to me, I hope that we're moving towards at least body neutrality, where we're like, hey, this time when we go back to that whole heroin chic Y2K, people like push back on it. And people are like, we're not gonna do this bullshit again. We're not gonna starve ourselves and eat zucchini noodles for breakfast and then not eat all day because we want to look like a Kardashian or whatever. Because that's what people did back then. Oh, eat an apple, whatever. I don't want us to go back to that time period. And I do see a little bit of pushback since the Kardashians trying to bring it up. There's a little bit of pushback that, hey, we don't want to go back. And I hope that continues, and I hope we don't give in and, let this happen again. Because that shit was fucked up, and I'll give a lot of people a lot of problems.
Yeah, and I remember being a part of that era, and like it was pretty bad. It was really horrible. And I think some of us are still living with like the residue of that.
Oh yeah. Why do you think we have felt the need in the past, at least, or we still feel the need to have influencers in our life guide us or even be in our daily life as a part of what we want to do or what we want to buy? Like, why do we even need them? There's commercials. We can just watch a commercial. Why do we need influencers?
Because we have mommy and daddy issues. That's why.
Oh my God. Is that your answer?
That's my final answer. No.
Oh my God. I was not expecting.
No, I think a part of it is because influencers started out as being relatable. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I became a new mom and there wasn't much on the internet, so I reviewed all these things and I'm telling you my honest opinion, right? They felt like friends, felt like people who had similar interests, who were in similar like life phases, and we wanted to trust them. And I think money corrupts, and I think we're constantly looking for, a wise like maternal or paternal figure. That's why characters like Gandalf and Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall are like really popular. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
We just have mommy and daddy issues, okay?
Okay, we need to end it right now. Okay. Take us out, please.
If you have mommy or daddy issues, please go to my therapist's website. It's my specialty.
No! Talk about our Instagram and our Gmail.
Right. You can also email us about your mommy and daddy issues at amateurpopcast@gmail.com, or you can send us your mommy and daddy issue comments to our Instagram at amateur_popcast.